All right, welcome to day 2 of the Coffee Vaults. I don't know what's wrong, but I think if I'm feeling a little weird, man.
Got a lot of coffee going on here.
Okay, day 2 of coffee. How you feeling?
We're being so productive right now.
Okay, so
this is the coffee episode in the quarterly challenge, the dry weekend, and we figured out last episode that our preferred method, we had the same kind of beans across 5 different methods. Our preferred method for making coffee is
Chemex. Chemex pour-over right here.
This thing.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna brew 5.
So we have pinpointed our preferred method. Now we're going to pinpoint our preferred coffee using our preferred method.
Now, the number 1 coffee was the one we used yesterday, Cuvee.
Wait, how is that a number 1 coffee? How did
the number 1, not the number 1, our favorite. The first coffee I'm going to make.
How did we choose these coffees, by the way?
I chose them because they're easily accessible in H-E-B down from our house.
H-E-B is a local grocery store.
Which means the odds of people being able to find these are probably more significant.
Especially if you live in Central Texas. Probably
not Cuvee, but everybody else is from away from Texas.
Okay.
And so the odds of you getting them, if you can find a good grocery store, go up.
They got a place downtown. It's
cool.
They do. Like right East Austin. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. It's good. Los Mingas, this is
Spicewood, Texas.
Colombian.
And now I'm trying to stick with all Colombian, or at least one that's a blend with Colombian in it, so that it's a fair roast consistency too, and they're all around medium roast.
So our preferred Colombian is what you're saying.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because otherwise this gets too complicated.
Adam O'Gara, someone that Crafty needs to make a bottle down holder for the vault because Daniel almost killed me.
Because Rex almost died in that last exchange.
This is not supposed to be a blood sport ceremony, Daniel.
That's true. So, bottle down holder. Someone does need to make a bottle down holder.
Right.
It's like just a little stand, like a pipe stand. You can set it in for safety purposes.
Hold your dumb hand. That's it. Use your dumb hand.
No. I can't be bothered. I need a stand.
I was almost killed, and he doesn't want to go back to the dark days of A Hobbit's Tale.
Okay, so here's the thing about beans that you guys need to know.
Yeah.
Light roast, there's more fruity and acidic flavors.
Yeah.
Right? And so and light roast goes from green bean, and by the way, the darker the roast, the less caffeine.
Yeah.
So remember...
So people think they're like really strong, hard black coffee.
If you brew an espresso roast, and you also brew a light roast the same way, you'll have more caffeine in the light roast.
Okay. All right.
Hell, chewing a green coffee bean, you'll have more coffee.
I usually gravitate towards the darker, stronger coffees. So I don't get that coffee buzz. Phil Pinkney. Hey guys, thanks for reviewing the dry fly wheat whiskey. I'm not sure how you missed it, but it was aged 4 months in PX sherry barrel.
Oh yeah, keep in mind, Phil Pinkney is the one who sent us that.
Yeah.
And
so
Phil, I found out.
He would know.
He would know. Sorry about that, Phil. And Phil is a wine sommelier.
Oh, nice. Nice. So PX sherry, what is PX?
Pedro Jimenez.
Pedro Jimenez. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
Culture Hologram, which is a mix.
Culture Hologram.
It's from Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where's my pour? Oh, there it is.
There.
Durham, North Carolina.
And it says fruity milk chocolate and syrupy. Honestly, you've used the term multiple times at this point. Fruity?
For a coffee. Remember how it's hard to find things in whiskey until you've got the comparison patterns down? The same thing goes for coffee. Insiders will describe things that just generic coffee drinkers will never find in their life.
Okay, so I will admit, I have been drinking coffee for years, but it's always been like the same half dozen coffees, usually in a little plastic cup.
Yeah. So medium roast means that you've heated up the coffee bean enough that the glucose has been activated, the sugars, and so I'm letting it breathe first.
Okay.
The glucose has been activated, so it's a little sweeter. It's a little more balanced, medium roast, a little more even flavors. But you keep roasting it. The glucose, the sweet notes.
Well, I was pointing out like a little bit of bubbling up.
It will look like, if you're doing Chemex correctly, the top of the coffee beans when you first heat them up,
it's like a moon.
It'll look like a pancake. Like, you know how you know when to flip a pancake?
Yeah.
Because there's little bubbles start coming?
Yeah, that's what
it looks like.
There's like little bubbles.
That means you waited correct amount of time.
Huh.
Okay, so medium roast means you've opened up glucose and it's sweeter, but you haven't yet burned the glucose away by roasting it darker. The next level, bitter is the dominant flavor because you burned away all the glucose. And why does it taste bitter? Because that's what burnt things taste like, right? Now, what we will say is, a lot of people say things like, and Starbucks is in one of these 5 because we needed a fair comparison. People say this all the time about Starbucks. They just burn the shit out of their beans. They don't actually. The standards for roasting are pretty consistent.
Okay.
Right? So the temperatures are often the same.
Are they just roasting it
They're
darker?
not over roasting. They're actually using a lower quality coffee bean.
Oh.
Right? Now, this is not a bad thing.
How is it not a bad? It's lower quality.
Because it's not crappy quality,
Okay.
right? They are sourcing their coffee from legitimate providers, right?
Sure.
People who with good farming practices are going out of the way to try to find sustainable,
Right.
but they're using lower altitude. And so here's why. You know, at a really big steakhouse,
Yeah.
you'll actually get a lower quality meat than at a little mom and pop shop craft. Why? Because a little mom and pop shop, little restaurant
Can't keep up with the demand.
Well, they get to select a smaller demand, and so they get to pick higher up on the quality chain. So if quality goes like a pyramid.
Right.
Amazing stuff at the top, but there's only 3. Next level, there's 20, right? Next level, there's 150.
Right.
Well, when you're cooking, 400 table turns a night, you have to have consistency so that you don't go to the restaurant once and it's amazing, and the next time you go and it sucks.
You're wrong. Chili's has the best steaks in the world.
That's true. That's just science. So the point is that Starbucks has to have flavor consistency. And so they have to pick the highest quality they can that simultaneously gives them the quantity they need to grow.
Fair enough. And it has to be something they can get consistently.
Yes, because
you
you
can't
be able to repeat it.
Right.
If you fall in love with Starbucks breakfast blend and then, that farmer can't supply the next year, you're screwed.
Belfry, hey Daniel and Rex, you probably noticed you're getting a lot of new people started into whiskey since starting your channel. When did you guys start getting into whiskey, and what was it that started you down the path?
Okay, so we just did a fast cut and made the rest of these because this video is getting astronomically long, right? So
it would have been nice to have 5 Chemexes going simultaneously.
But then I would have had to spend $200 on Chemexes.
Okay,
so
you ain't made of money.
So grab the 3. You grab 2 coffees.
Oh, by the way, the ones that we poured, we showed you.
You have them in the right order now.
Shut your face. So we did a community coffee and chicory community coffee was the 3rd one.
Yeah. We started with Cuvee, then the counterculture, then we did Intelligentsia.
Are you sure?
Yes. And then we did community, coffee and chicory, and then we did Starbucks breakfast blend.
Yeah.
Intelligentsia is Chicago, Illinois. That's a blend of Colombia, Burundi, and Rwanda coffee beans. Community coffee is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it's got chicory in it. Okay. So it's black coffee, medium roast, with chicory, which is a root in the dandelion family. And you actually just shave the root and roast it. That goes into things.
Is it a weed?
No. It's an herbaceous plant, a perennial herbaceous, because it's got leaves.
Making up words.
Yeah. And then Starbucks breakfast blend is just there since 1998.
Can I try them
coffee.
now?
Okay, I'm starting with Starbucks.
I'm starting with the that's Starbucks. So I'm starting with with Cuvee.
Tastes like Starbucks. Ooh, I kind of like that one. Now remember that coffee and chicory is meant to be in an Olay with milk. Ooh, Intelligentsia is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Counterculture,
It's got some flavors in it.
It does.
It's like flavored.
And Cuvee is still holding strong, man. I think I'm between Intelligentsia and Cuvee. Although the community coffee, imagine that with steamed milk.
I'm saying, so far, I haven't tried the...
Because remember, chicory is meant to be in an Olay. That's what you go to Café du Monde in New Orleans, right? And you get an Olay. It's always chicory coffee and cream.
I kind of like the community coffee.
I know, me too. It's a little sweetened.
It is. So, chicory, coffee.
That's it.
Rich and flavorful. That's it. It's just straight coffee. No...
Mm-hmm. No flavoring.
No flavoring. But
No.
there's a lot of...
Isn't that tasty? So when I was traveling, anytime we went through Louisiana, we just beeline straight for community coffee.
Man, that Chicory is doing some heavy lifting.
I know.
On some interesting flavors.
Okay, Starbucks doesn't taste bad, but it tastes exactly like Starbucks, right? Now keep in mind that Counterculture, Intelligentsia, and Cuvee, they are buying in smaller quantities, which allows them to go higher up the totem pole in coffee quality. And it means that although they are different, they're not that different from each other. I mean, they are. There's a difference. But it's not a 50% difference. It's a 20 to 25, 30% difference. Whereas, and we're talking in comparison to like Starbucks on the other end of the damn spectrum, these all sit up here.
Man,
what's your favorite?
These are all, it's the community.
Yeah, really?
It's the community.
Okay, I'm going to say...
The Cuvee.
Actually, I really dig the Intelligentsia. This is their house blend, by the way.
There's not a bad coffee in this bench. These are all good, but just in terms of it being a unique black coffee experience,
and I dig
that isn't so out of bounds that it can no longer be called, black coffee with a straight face. This has a nice. It's got to be the Chicory.
That's the outlier.
It is the outlier, and I like the outlier.
Yeah.
Because I like the outlier because it's not so far out of bounds that it's just, this is a weird thing and you can't even compare it. You can compare it. This is in the same family, but it's just weird and different enough with, I'm assuming, that chicory note.
Yep. So the thing about Starbucks is it's like getting into Isla's in the sense that if you're not used to Isla, all you taste is smoke, right?
Yeah.
If you're not used to Starbucks, it just tastes like a Starbucks bean.
Sure.
No matter what they make.
Yeah.
But if you drink Starbucks all the time, that subsides, and behind it you can explore the Starbucks bandwidth.
So these are all Colombian coffees.
Or a blend, but yes.
Okay.
Medium roast.
There's Colombian coffees in here.
So on.
So in terms of the different kinds of flavors, the community has chicory added. Do the others have any kind of thing added beyond
just beans?
Just beans. Okay, so I like the adding of the chicory.
Yep.
When it's just beans, what are the options that you have to really mix up what you get out of a coffee? You got the roast length.
No, the source and the roast length is not a thing because if they're all medium roast, they're all going to be within the same bandwidth.
Okay.
Right. So you can be patient about how you get there.
Right.
And you don't want to ruin it, but it's like distilling. It's like, there are limits within distilling, but overall it's all distilled, right?
Okay.
So what you can really have control over is your beans, where they're coming from, how they're being made, how they're being grown, everything going into the growing. So in coffee, the farmer is more influential than just about any other individual in the chain.
Okay, so Colombia is the section of the planet where this is coming from. But even within Colombia...
Or having pieces from, yes.
Yeah, so there's...
even within Colombia, you got climate change.
Yeah.
You got altitude change.
And that makes a huge
difference.
Okay. Huh. Who was... So, Dennis Murphy's wife?
Yeah, I was going to get hers, but we did this last second, I forgot to ask her for coffee.
Because
I can't remember. We will tell you about Dennis Murphy's wife makes a specialty coffee.
She makes a specialty coffee, and we'll put the link in the description.
It's by order only, I think.
Yeah, it's sold online. And he would kick me right in the ass if I forgot to mention, because I've had her coffee. It's exceptional. And she actually travels to these South American countries.
Yes, to find this
to visit the farmers and the beans and.
So we'll put a link so you can find out more information about what his wife is making.
Yeah,
that'll go down below.
Yeah. I'm finishing with the chicory deal, man. With the community.
I'm gonna finish with Intelligentsia, North Carolina. All right, here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
If you drink coffee, may you drink with us. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.